In the first reading today, St. Paul tells the Philippians that they are to work out their salvation in fear and trembling. This is kind of the opposite of what we tend to hear these days. If you've been to most funerals, everybody that dies is a saint. They're already in heaven. They have nothing to worry about. Consequently, nobody prays for them because they're already canonized. We ourselves oftentimes just think, well, as long as I'm kind of a good person, I'm guaranteed to go to heaven. Nowhere does it say that. We have lots of people who want to believe that as long as they believe in Jesus, that they're going straight to heaven if they die. It doesn't seem to require a whole lot of effort. And St. Paul tells us that we have to work out our salvation. Work out our salvation. Not just believe in Jesus. There's work we have to do. And so that's the point where we have to make the effort. And the Lord tells us, if we don't take up our cross and follow him, we can't be his disciple. He didn't say, as long as you just simply believe in my name, you're in like flint. You've got no problems. No, he said we need to take up the cross. He said we need to renounce our possessions. For an American, that's tough. All we like is more possessions. It's just an amazing thing. It's like that guy who, when he had that bumper crop, decides that he's going to tear down his barn and build new ones. That's what we seem to do. It's like, I need a bigger house. Why? Because I don't have enough room for all my junk. I got to get a bigger house. Not because I have a big family and the kids don't fit into this house anymore. No, because I've got too many material possessions that they don't fit into the house anymore. And so we really need to look at what's going on in the heart. Are we really putting God first? Are we really seeking his kingdom? Are we really seeking his way of holiness? Or are we giving him lip service, but our hearts are really somewhere else? These are hard things for us to look at, because especially in a society like ours, where the psychologists have done an awful lot of good, but one of the things that, it's a difficulty is like, you're a good person. Well, I hope we are. But that doesn't mean we're saints. And I can tell you from hearing lots and lots of confessions, these would be from people who've been away from the church for years and years and years, or people converting, or whatever it may be, and they sit down and start their confession with, I'm really a good person, Father. Like, praise the Lord. And then they go on with their confession, and if I had hair long enough, it would be curled by the end of it. And it's like, what do you have to do to not be a good person? Or what do you have to do to have not really done anything too bad? We just try to cover all these things up and move on. And there's a balance, and it's a difficult balance to find. We have to recognize the goodness that's there. God created us and said that in our nature we are very good. He made us in his own image and likeness. At the same time, we need to balance that with our sinfulness and recognize that we're very weak and we're very broken. And where the balance comes in is literally to be able to say anything good, God gets the credit. Anything not good, I get the credit. We don't like that. We want to say if there's something good, yeah, maybe I'll thank God, but it's really me. It's like, no, it's not. If I actually did something good, it's because, as Jesus said, without me you can do nothing. It's because without his grace, there's no way that I could have done it. When I decide that I don't really need him, I can do this all by myself, well, then I wind up in the confessional again because I did it all by myself with no help from him. So it's that balance that we need to find. We have to be so careful that we don't become presumptuous. That, oh, God just loves you, he doesn't care. Yeah, he does. For those of you who have had teenage kids, you love your kids, right? Because you love your kids, no matter what it is they do, you're still going to love them, therefore you don't care. You don't care that they're out doing stupid things. You don't care if they get into a car accident. You don't care if they get drunk. You don't care if they do idiotic things, because you just love them anyway. Now, of course you love them, but that doesn't mean you don't care. You want them to do what's right. You want them to be good. You want them to grow in holiness. Well, how much more so for God? Of course he loves us. The fact that he loves us does not mean that he's going to say, well, whatever you want to do is just fine. I don't care. You can go ahead and sin all you want because I love you, so therefore you're coming straight to heaven. Now, St. Paul says, work out your salvation in fear and trembling. There is no guarantee. And so we have to keep working toward it. If this is what we truly desire, then let's keep going. Otherwise, we become like those foolish virgins who showed up with their torches but no oil. And because we think that we're a dead ringer, we've got this made, we've got nothing to worry about, that's where we're going to get ourselves in trouble. Because we're going to get lazy, we're going to get soft, we're not going to keep pushing forward. And then we fall. So that's what we need to be so very careful of. Make sure that the prayer is in good order. Make sure that we're striving always to continue to improve. Because for a lot of us, it's like, well, at least I got rid of the mortal sins, so it's okay if I commit the venial ones. Yeah, once again, God's not going to say that's okay. Thank goodness you're not committing mortal sins. Venial sins are still sins. They're still offensive to God. He's still not going to say it's okay for you to sin. So we want to keep working to try to improve, to try to keep growing in holiness. So it's doing our part, taking up that cross, looking at where the areas of selfishness are in our lives, renouncing those things so that we can follow Christ more perfectly, so that we can become who we really were created to be. And those are people who truly love God with their whole heart and soul and strength.